I'm gonna restart that. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Let's Get Kraken podcast. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate it. And if you are a new viewer, hi, I'm Eden. I'm the owner of Kraken, where I sell my handmade treasures like progress keepers, hand-dyed yarn, opal. Well, opal's not a handmade treasure, but it's still a treasure. And my own pattern designs. You can find me on Instagram as Crafting Kraken, or you can find me and my patterns on Lovecrafts and Payhip. The links to everything I talk about and all that I have already talked about will be down below in the description. So, welcome to another episode. I've got some finished objects for you and a bunch of little whips. Just a bunch of little things. This took up most of my time since the last podcast, so there's not much of progress on other things, but that is okay. My brain is in a jumbled up mode, so I am so sorry if that starts sending me everywhere as I speak. I do not have any caffeine with me today. I've had my caffeine for the morning already. I just have apple juice like an adult does. I don't know what it is about apple juice that feels very childlike. It's very good. It's watered down apple juice too, so that makes it even more childlike. I'm an adult, I swear. But yeah, did you ever have that as a kid where your parents would add just a little bit of water to your juice just to make it last a little bit longer? And also, straight juice is a lot for a little kid. So, you think to yourself, when I grow up, I'm going to drink my juice straight up. And then you're an adult now, and you realize how expensive juice is. And also that you're so used to watered down juice that straight juice just doesn't taste right. That is what's going on here. So, the epitome of content, I guess. But that's what I've got as my drink today. I probably should have some caffeine, but I do not. I've been trying to just lower that just a little bit. Because, when you drink caffeine, it can kind of spike jitteriness and nervousness, even to sparking anxiety, which was just not adding very well to my everyday life. So I've been cutting down on my caffeine intake to kind of combat that, because I've had quite a few days where I just feel anxious about everything. Okay, anyways. So we just hop into the yarn content. I will start with what I'm wearing, which actually, I'm wearing some handmade socks too. I'm just going to move my fuzzy blanket off my lap here. So I'll start with the socks. Hang on. Here we go. This is my own pattern. This is the Reuel Socks. It is a simple ribbed sock, seated ribbing. I knit this out of Stitchcraft and Wizardry yarn down in Australia in their Watermelon Crush colorway. I really love these. And my other sock, I stepped in paint and it won't come off. I can't feel it. It's not really crunchy at all. But I didn't wash it out right away. And it just dried to the sock, so now that's just how it is. And it's fine. I'm gonna have to knit another pair. Oh no, an excuse to cast on another pair of socks. I really do love this pattern. It's probably one of my top favorites, and I also have this in a DK version. if you want like a simple rib sock, it goes with variegated yarn, it goes with tonal yarn, self-striping, crazy speckles, any yarn. I guarantee it, even paint splatters. I have yet to be proved wrong. So, Rouel Sock, there will be a link for it in the description. And then my major finished object, I finished my DRK Sweater by Andrea Mowry. It is a DK weight, simple, top-down, yoked sweater. I'll just sit up and try and show you. I have no place to stand because like the tables come really close for the camera. And more paint splatters. Ignore that. There's paint on everything. It's just a thing that happens when you're an artist. So I knit almost perfectly to the pattern. There's a really nice thick ribbing on the bottom. That's in the pattern. Oh, yeah. Simple yoke sweater. Oh, I love it so much. Okay, things that I changed in this sweater. Only a couple things. I knit the collar of the sweater just a little bit shorter. It's supposed to be more of a mock turtleneck, and I didn't want that. I wanted just a little bit of space there because I don't like stuff right up to my neck. And then because my gauge was just a little bit tighter than what the pattern called for, I just knit the sleeves with no decreases, and it worked out really well. I did 3/4 length sleeves because I pull my sleeves up anyway. Like I'm still gonna probably pull them up to my elbow. Anyway, it smells really good. I used a wool wash it's an old wool wash. I don't think she makes it anymore. From Wild in the Woods. It smells so good. Yeah, so I knit this. For the last time, I'm going to list this off. Holding fingering double. I used Ilmani Sabri. It is a mix of cotton and alpaca, and it is so nice. I love this so much. I'll just grab the tag. There is the tag. It is 85% organic cotton and 15% baby alpaca. And it is so nice. You can feel the cotton. The alpaca makes it nice and just that little bit of warmth, and it kind of bloomed when I blocked it. And then the cotton in it, it doesn't it's not dishclothy at all. It's nice and thick, like it because of the blooming, it just filled in whatever gaps nicely. It's not like super tight, but it's almost like wearing a really nice cotton shirt. Like it's so soft with the warmth, but the cotton just breathes, and I can feel that it's gonna keep me an even temperature. Like, sometimes you throw a hoodie on when it's cold and then you get really hot and you have to take it off again, but it's still cold. This is nothing like that. I can't express how great this yarn is. I'm so sorry for this weird shadow right here. The light behind my ring light is causing that, but I could turn the light off, but then it kind of looks creepy. Like I'm just filming in a really dark basement, which I am. That's where I live. But we need the light. And yeah. And I use the needles called for. And yeah. No decreases on the sleeves and a little bit smaller of a collar is the only thing I changed about this. But yeah, Ilmani Sabri. And then the little contrast color to give the little pops. Here, it looks like they belong together, like it was just one yarn the whole time. This is the Little Mermaid from Kate Celine on a 75-25 fingering weight. It's so nice. And I have enough that I would love to crochet a little animal out of these together. But I am going to take some grams out of this to put into the advent calendar that I am swapping with Amy Kate, the Graceful Tangle, at the end of the year. So I'm trying to keep on that, but any fingering weights that I have are going in there. This one is such a weird content that I won't throw it in there, because say she crocheted a blanket out of it, this would probably block differently than this, so I wouldn't want that to happen to her. And then my other finished object, which will help us transition into whips, is in this bag by 2 Sticks and You, handmade in the Okanagan. And I finished another square for my blanket design. I finished this just this morning. So here we go. I'll see if I can stretch it out. It's definitely one that you need to block to get the full picture, but this is the opposite setup of my first square. I just switched the colors around. So I was able to make 2 squares out of 2 mini skeins. And that was kind of the idea that I was going for at first, but if I can find it, oh, here it is. I had the same amount of this little bit of each mini skein left, so I was coming down to the wire. So this pattern will be redone to accommodate all different yarn weights, but I'm going to write it as a recipe for a blanket, kind of like how to make the square. So it's going to be a recipe pattern, but the square itself I'm calling the Mood Swings square, because having it a little swapped out, I don't know, that was my inspiration for it. I really love this, and it is super quick. I started this square in last Thursday. Today is Thursday the 26th of May, and I started it last Thursday on my Knit With Me ASMR video, and I just finished it up this morning. I took a break in between to finish this sweater and do some other things, crochet some other things. So this is pretty quick. Once I've got the whole pattern written out and I can just follow it, it worked out really good. So yeah, I'm going to still finish this blanket for sure, knowing that my gauge will make it to make 2 squares out of each mini. If somebody were to make this particular, you'd have to have the same gauge. There will be gauge in the pattern, but if you were any bigger, you just wouldn't make it. So it's going to be more of a recipe for the square design itself, and it'll be available for fingering weight like this, DK weight, probably worsted weight as well, so that when the holidays come around and people have advent calendars, if you feel like making a blanket, this will be available. I hope to release it this summer. My goal for the year had been to release a pattern every month, to just kind of push myself to design and just bring out more patterns, not be afraid of designing, to try and break the ice there. I really love designing, but there was a lot of things that I still have a little bit of a fear of. So this has been pushing me to do stuff that I never thought I could. But I don't think that goal of a pattern every month will keep going, because for a pattern like this, I want to make it right. I want it to be completely thought through. I don't want any time limit on it that could cause me to stress and miss something. So I'm going to concentrate more and more on this. I'm gonna make sure that I just push through and get the full array of sizes and use as much brain power on it as I can. Like, I want this to be a pattern that is very versatile and enjoyable for everybody, and no yarn chicken. So it'll just be the square itself, not the whole blanket. But I will definitely be doing a whole blanket, and I think instead of 12 minis, I'm gonna scrounge for some more, because I think I have more minis. I probably do. And make a 16 square blanket so that I can get a really nice big square out of it. Right now I only have the 12 in here, but I will hunt for more. So you'll probably see some more squares throughout the summer of that. So that's my other finished object slash work in progress. Okay, let's move on to this guy. This is something that's very random. I didn't even think I was going to talk about it, but I thought I might as well to throw in a little bit more content. Is whenever I crochet stuffed animals, I'm usually doing it out of this book, Edward's Menagerie by Carrie Lord. I love this book. It's incredible, and there's so many animals you can make out of it, and they make fantastic gifts. Or if you're like me, you just like putting them on the shelf and looking at them and enjoying them. I love having them on hand as gifts for little kids though. So they just sit on my shelf until there's a home for them. But anyway, I am making a panda out of the leftovers of, I don't even know what this is. I think I crocheted an animal out of this originally. Possibly. But it's just a very simple DK weight gray with black speckles. I think this is Madeline Tosh. I don't remember. It was such a long time ago. But anyway, I have the very messy leftovers of my husband's DK weight socks. This is DK weight opal in the colorway Clinking Fountains. And I think I have one skein left of this in the shop if you're interested. And I've just got a little itty bitty head started on here. And I've got one of my own Progress Keepers, a little rain cloud. Those are in the shop right now. So cute. Yeah, so I've just got the body done so far, and I just started on the head. It looks like a really weird shaped pear at the moment. So that's just living in my Espresso Patronum bag by So Crazy Crafter. And I'm throwing these guys in here for my next animal. I think I'm going to do another bunny with this, because the bunny is my favorite. And I don't have one right now. Oh, he's sitting right there. Right there. That one. I don't know if the panda's in here on the cover at all, but I wonder if I could find it real quick for you. Oh, I did. Okay, this is Fiona the panda. I don't want to show you the pattern itself, but yeah. So there's some little projects, little crochet projects that I'm going to have on hand. I'm starting to be drawn more to little projects because as summer creeps closer, I want to have more portable projects that I can take to the beach and on road trips and stuff. And just easy portable projects is what I'm drawn to right now. My sweater kick is still slightly there, so I'm still going to have sweaters for sure. I want to cast on a cardigan next, now that this is done. So I'll probably get into that today, to be honest. But I still want to do a little bit more crochet work before I get into that. which leads me to this guy. I thought these would be done, but again, the sweater took up most of the time this week, and the square. But this is another pattern that I'm working on that will definitely be coming out in June. If you watched my last podcast, you will have seen this turtle as a whole. I forgot to get him for this episode to show off the finished turtle, but he's upstairs. So I finished the body and the head of this one. This is going to be a pattern called Bow the Turtle. Bow is B-O-E, which means handsome. And I thought that was so fun. So Bow the Turtle is filled with beans. And what you do is you crochet this out of fingering weight yarn, and you fill him with large dried beans. I use pinto beans. You can use like red kidney beans, white kidney beans, black beans. Just you fill them with beans. And then you put it in the freezer. These are great for kids when they run into something, bump, crash, boom, bang, it happens. Or adult kids such as myself who boom, crash, boom, bang, burn all the time. That sounds terrible. I'm sorry. But I burn myself all the time in the kitchen. And these are great. So we used to call these boo-boo buddies. So they're really great for a less intense cold. So say you bump your head, you just put the turtle on there, and it's a good cold that's not as intense as say a ice cube or a ice pack going straight on there. And they're cute, which is awesome. So yeah, this is crocheted out of fingering weight yarn. There's the head. I crocheted this one out of my own hand-dyed yarn. This is Watercolor Promises, and this is leftovers from a sock I knit just a little while ago. So pretty. But the original is designed with Bramble Ridge, and I've got another shell started with it. This is Bramble Ridge in their fingering weight base. This is a 50-gram skein, and it's so soft and so lovely. And this is in the colorway Kraken's made, which was something she dyed for Kraken made. That's something I designed with, and I love it so much. Green and blue are my ultimate mix, and it's just gorgeous. It's amazing. So that is in the works, definitely coming out in June. I just have to take some photos for the pattern and do last little details on there. Then it'll go into a testing. I have a tester waiting to go through the pattern, which is awesome. So it will be out in early June. And it's just living in this ginger snap bag. Winnie the Pooh and friends. So cute. I always love Winnie the Pooh and friends. Just something that just makes me smile. And last but certainly not least, talking about portable projects. This is my portable project right now, my takeout project, I guess it would be called. And I showed this off last week. I just cast on a pair of socks, and then just later on that day we headed out on the road, and I took this with me, but I wasn't really liking how the design was working out. So what I did is I just ripped it out and I cast on a pair of vanilla socks, which is completely okay. Out of all my handmade objects, vanilla socks are my most worn thing. So I know for a fact that this will get lots of use, and also it's so enjoyable. I love my vanilla socks. So here it is. It is just a simple 64 stitch sock. I do 20 rows for the cuff. I might have done 18 because I was getting impatient for this one. And then just simple stockinette. drawing a blank. I do this on 2.25 millimeter needles. I do the magic loop. Here's my little, this is a Hufflepuff crest that I got off a pen and turned it into a progress keeper, which matches perfectly with the yarn. This is Hufflepuff by Storyweaver Yarns. I'm a Hufflepuff, that is my house, and these are my house colors. And I love it so much. It's so happy. Like, it's a happy yellow with gray at the same time, so it's so enjoyable. Like, I love this. And it's striping like this. It's not supposed to be self-striping, but it's striping like that. And it looks like a house scarf. Blows my mind. So these are just amazing. And I want to work on these just like straight, but I don't want to rush the project. But I might. Because I want to work on them all the time and just watch that striping grow. Yeah. So this is the project I take to, like, when I go into town, or I'm on the road, or I go to the beach. This is what I take. And it's just in a bag my mom made me a very long time ago. And I just love it. It's the perfect little project thing. And yeah, that is all I'm working on at the moment. I did not touch my halibut sweater since the last podcast, unfortunately. I really want to get into it. I've talked so much my mouth's gone dry. But yeah, I really want to get into that. Every time I pick it up, I get too excited and just want to see the color work build already, and it's not going fast enough, so I need to work on it to satisfy that feeling of seeing that color work grow. So that is gonna definitely be worked on more the next couple weeks. I really want to cast on a cardigan. I'll talk about it and the pattern and the yarn next podcast. And then, yeah, some more crocheted stuffed animals. So that's everything. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like the podcast, give it a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. I'm trying to gain a little bit more on the channel. Recently, social medias in general, the online community, it doesn't grow as easily as it used to. So by liking it, subscribing, and even sharing if you feel like it with somebody, that is really appreciated to try and boost my channel and get it out to more yarn lovers everywhere. So yeah, that's my hope. I want to boost the channel to reach more yarny people, to make more connections. So yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day, night, morning, evening, whatever time it is there. I hope it is filled with yarn and joy, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.